And
I was excited. I was like, "Oh, dude, tarts!" And you're like, "Ugh!" And I was like,
I'm like,
"What?"
ugh. Excuse me. And Devin's like, "What do you mean, ugh?" And he said, "You don't like these?" I'm like, "No, I don't like sour things." And he's like, "Sour things? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "It's a tart." He's like, "Dude, these are little teeny pies." And I'm like, "Say what now?" I'm just like, chunk, 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 chunk. Just Paula's coming in. I'm like, "Paula, little teeny pies." And she's like, "I know. Are you okay?" Hey, gang. It's your old pal Uncle here. Welcome to another episode of the Dudes Podcast. With me, as always, is my brother Devin.
Howdy-ho.
That's the one I was going to use.
And our brother-in-law Taylor, who has a unique greeting.
Hody hey.
There. That's great. Well, like I said, welcome to another episode of the Dudes Podcast. We're really glad you're with us. Get this out of the way. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave us a comment below, and tell somebody about it. Share it out with your friends and family, and invite them to be a part of this. We're really thankful to be able to do this. Like Devin was praying before we came on the air or started recording. We're thankful that the Lord's allowed us and He's okay with us basically putting our conversations out for the whole planet to see. So, yeah, tell somebody about it. We're really excited about this, and it's going to grow, and it's going to become a movement.
And remember, Taylor guarantees that it mends broken relationships.
Yep. Taylor guarantees that specifically. That is a TAFO guarantee.
It is. Or it's a money back guarantee.
That, man, you cannot beat that guarantee.
Guarantee it.
I guarantee you can't beat that guarantee. Yeah. So again, thanks for joining us. A couple of things to get out of the way. Like we mentioned in maybe I think it was the last episode, I am now a very thankful affiliate of Live Bearded, the products that I use for my beard. Today, I have one of their seasonal scents called Skal. It's Skal, and it is cedarwood, leather, and honey.
Wow.
And it's unreal. It may be my favorite.
I feel like you should have a pipe. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
while you say it, while you have that. I think the fourth ingredient is dreams or something like that. It's really, it's a seasonal scent, so you can't get it year round, but they do things like this a lot, and their seasonal scents are great. Their regular scents are great. And like I said, I am an affiliate, and if you use promo code UNCLE or you use the link that's in the description below, you'll get 10% off your purchase at livebearded.com. So check that out. It'll be a blessing to me. Also, I am also a thankful affiliate with Metabolic Meals. I'm very hooray! Not expecting that.
That was really cool. I am very thankful to the Lord.
All right,
The audience is just going crazy about
guys.
Boy, I hope we can hear that over because if we don't,
It'll be real awkward if not.
Yeah.
Just add it in.
But anyway, Metabolic Meals at metabolicmeals.com or mymetabolicmeals.com is the actual address, I think. You have it's a meal delivery service. Pre-made meals, 2 minutes in the microwave. The macros are unbelievable. And honestly, if you've watched any of the Uncle Try Something New things, I am a very picky. I'm very picky about what I have. I only like a small small group of things. And man, Metabolic Meals hits it out of the park. They have
chefs, real chefs that do the meal planning and the cooking. They have top quality ingredients. Everything is, there's a new menu each week, but they will rotate your favorites back in. And they can support specialty diets. They can support allergies, things like that. It is gluten-free just right off the bat. And it's really, really good. You can do things like add extra protein when you select your meals. And let's say you've got a hamburger patty, a grass-fed beef patty in there, or a bison patty. They have bison as well. They will throw in another one on top of that for extra protein. Everything is top quality, and it's really, really good with incredibly manageable calories. And like I said, good macros. And if you use the link below, you will get, I think it's 10% off your order as well. So, I can't recommend them enough. I was using them before this affiliation even became an idea. So it's something that I really, really believe in and really think everybody will enjoy. So links are below in the description, and that's it.
One of the things I noticed about metabolic meals is that it's actually high protein. A lot of places will say that it's high protein, and they'll be like, 16 grams. And I'm like, that's not high protein. No. I can get that in a peanut butter sandwich,
And buddy, they'll put some things in there that'll also pack on the fiber as well. They have a bacon and bison chili. So, and it's outstanding, but it is bringing the fiber, man. And so it's got the protein.
You can vouch.
Yeah, it's got the protein, and boy, that fiber, it's there. So, but yeah, I highly recommend. Go ahead.
So they ship it to you? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So that they ship it to you. They ship it packed in an insulated box with dry ice in there.
Nice.
And it's packed to where it can survive, delays. The hurricane. Here's another good thing. Let me say this. Thank you for bringing that up, Taylor. Because they'll ship it to you, and it's packed with the dry ice to where it can stay outside after delivery for 24 hours before even becoming a problem. Having said that, I had a delivery that didn't make it here because of Hurricane Milton. And all I had to do was reach out to them and tell them, hey, we were in the path of Hurricane Milton. It looks like my order isn't going to get here or what have you. Didn't ask me any further questions. They completely, what they did is they gave me the cost of that week's meals in a credit that I applied to my next week's meals. I mean, it was like that. So
nice.
Just their customer service is really good. And I'm the type of person that if the customer service is bad, no matter how much I'm enjoying something, I will drop that product or service quickly.
I feel like we could do a whole podcast on
customer service.
Customer service.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think we should actually. I think we'll be doing America a service if we do that. No pun intended. But yeah.
What's your favorite meal that you've had? Or some of your favorite meals?
I tell you, tonight I had taco mac and cheese. And
this is random. I heard Taco Mac. I was
Taco
like,
Mac.
What?
Yeah.
I had Taco Mac tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, Devin.
So I know we're talking about those meals, but I had McDonald's. No,
McDonald's, yeah.
Yeah, but the taco mac and cheese is really good. Let's see, what did I have earlier for lunch? I had the penne alla vodka with bison meatballs. I mean, so good. That's a great question, Taylor. I don't know what my favorite meal is, but I'll tell you that I've not had one meal that I've been like, oh, okay, well, that one tasted like cigarettes. So
I don't know if I've ever had a meal like that, actually.
Can't say that I have either.
Honest to goodness, from the, I don't know if they still make them, but Healthy Choice meals. that you get them in the freezer.
I mean, not cigarettes, but yeah.
They back when Paul and I first got married, we would get those, like for me to take to work or something like that. And there was I think it was the, how do you say it? Salisbury steak. And it had the little bitty healthy mac and cheese, and then it had green beans, and the green beans tasted like what old cigarette butts smell like. So it was just terrible.
So try Metabolic meals.
Yeah, so Metabolic
not
meals.
Healthy choice.
Honestly, I can't recommend them or Live Bearded enough. So yeah, thanks for clicking my links, using my code with Live Bearded, and clicking both the links. I know that you'll be happy. By the way, like I said last time, ladies, if your man doesn't have a beard, or dudes, if you don't have a beard, it's tough to grow one. Live Bearded has other products. They have body wash, shampoo, conditioner, soaps, deodorants. They have lotions that you smell manly and don't leave you feeling all greasy. It's a one-stop shop. Plus, they have good apparel and things like that, and they do give to really good causes as well. So that's all my plugging. That's all the plugging I'm going to do today. We are going to talk about Thanksgiving because it's the week of Thanksgiving, y'all. And it is time for all the work that I have been putting in with consistency, and that Metabolic Meals has helped me so well with. It's time to throw that all out the window and do all that throwing out in one day. So, no, I'm joking. It'll be done over a course of a few days. But yeah, so real quick though, for Thanksgiving, I did want to read these two scriptures because this is who the dudes are. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. I just want to find God's will for my life. Well, there you go. That's it right there. Proverbs 17:22 in the Amplified Classic says, a happy heart is good medicine, and a cheerful mind works healing, but a broken spirit dries up bones. You say, Uncle, that doesn't mention Thanksgiving. Aha! The Hebrew word that is used to break out to happy heart and cheerful mind speaks of a heart and mind that is given to thankfulness. So a thankful way of being leads to that happy heart and cheerful mind that actually works like medicine to your body. So even though what we're going to focus on may be primarily about the holiday, this way of life of being thankful is good for you. It is good for you. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, but I keep having these little interruptions about getting into our subject. But before we talk Thanksgiving, I did have a question for the guys. When is too early to decorate for or start getting into the Christmas spirit? Taylor, I go to you.
This is a dangerous topic.
I was going to say this is sensitive. This is sensitive. I mean, you could decorate for Christmas whenever you want. For me, I prefer to wait till after Thanksgiving.
I agree.
Yeah. So to me, I know there's people that are like, right after Halloween, it's Christmas. But I'm like, I mean, we gotta enjoy Thanksgiving. That's a whole month. So that's pretty much it for me. I don't have much else other than like, I want to get through Thanksgiving and then it's Christmas time. But also lately, so I've recently been enjoying since we've moved to Florida. I've been enjoying Christmas more and more because before I was on staff at a church, and Christmas was if you work at a church and do Christmas productions, that it can be stressful and a lot of work. And for me, it was fun. Like doing it was fun, but like the planning, the rehearsals, the everything, it just kind of sucked everything out of the month of December. And I think we would start rehearsals in like October or something like that. So
good heavens.
So like planning would start early, rehearsals would start in October through November, and then we get really serious in December. And then I think usually the productions were around like the 18th or so, and then you have like Christmas Eve services and things like that. So that stuff kind of just made December and Christmas a little more hard to enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like working at a church, your holidays they're just a little different, and
absolutely,
because it's crunch time. So Christmas and Resurrection Sunday, just it has this little tiny dark cloud that kind of looms over it right underneath all the special stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all the like life-changing miraculous things that if there's this little dark cloud that's like
right, Word became flesh, spotless lamb sacrificed for the sins of the world, and then raised from the dead, but also
true.
I get that. I've not worked at a church, but I've served at a number of them, and somehow I always served at on the teams that had like a lot to do with what was going on for Christmas or Resurrection Sunday. But I'll tell you, sorry. You know what, Devin? You didn't get a chance to go with your full opinion yet, so please do.
No, go ahead,
Taylor.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I was leading into that being here in Florida, and kind of getting away from that, having to, put on a production, I've really been enjoying the Christmas season lately. And I think even last year I was like, man, that happened way too fast, and I don't feel like I got to do everything. So I'm starting to understand the people that are like, in November we're starting Christmas, because it really is a fun time, with especially if you have family and kids and things like that. So I'm still after Thanksgiving we'll decorate for Christmas, but I mean we may have been playing some Christmas music already in the house, which before I didn't want to hear Christmas music because that's all I did. But yeah, Devin?
I'm going to agree with everything Taylor said. Like copy paste kind of thing. Yeah.
Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
Or Command C, Command V.
I mean, that's my even to the extent of working at a church for a while, and I can't hear this what is it that this Christmas?
This Christmas.
Yeah. I can't hear that with. I've got a little PTSD with that song.
I play bass, and that was actually one of my favorite ones to play, because that one that one was fun. But
yeah, the bass line is it's
yeah,
and there's cool stuff on it, but we just rehearsed it so much, and the drums are weird.
It's a weird song, yeah.
It's the drums are weird, and because of the way that they recorded stuff back then, it's hard to distinguish kind of what they're doing too. Exactly, So I had to go. I found some more modern stuff that had better recordings, but yeah. And a lot of those Motown guys, you got to give credit where credit's due. They were really good drummers. They didn't sound real busy, but it actually was pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
All the nuances and everything, and it's a tough feel to catch. Like if you don't play it a lot, and I knew I wasn't. I had it to where probably not a lot of other people. Yeah, but I was like, I'm just missing that, like that Motown thing, It's just But what Taylor said, the day after Thanksgiving, all in. But I am resistant to the day after Halloween. But I think my wife is going to veto that this year. So,
yeah, I heard rumblings about this year when we were out trick or treating. I heard.
That's what I heard too. I was like, I mean, guys, be the priest of your home, be the head of your household, but also be smart. Use wisdom.
Pick your battles.
A wise woman builds her house. That's what the Bible says.
Exactly. You get out of the way.
Yeah, just let her do it. By the way, Donny Hathaway's This Christmas is the only one I can kind of listen to. I think our mom had... Did she have a Gloria Estefan's Christmas album or something?
Oh, if anybody did, it was probably our mother.
Yeah, because I think Miss Gloria Estefan's version of This Christmas made me hate that song with a fiery passion until I heard Donny Hathaway.
See, you're going to make me go down a rabbit trail because I don't remember that Christmas album. But I have a feeling as soon as I start listening to it, I'm going to remember it.
I don't know. It's the way she sang the chorus. It just sounded real.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I see absolutely. I remember this out. I'm looking at the record and I'm like,
Thanksgiving
it's
podcast. But here we go. So yeah, she definitely had that. And when she got to that chorus, I'd just be like, oh, okay. I don't know why. I was so judgmental of that record. And then nobody else. I don't know. I just didn't like anybody else's version. But for me, with the when do you start with the Christmas thing, I too was very intense on... nope, we are not. We don't listen to a stitch of Christmas music. It's not stitch. We don't listen to a single note of Christmas music. We don't do any Christmas decorating at all until the day after Thanksgiving. That's just it. And my wife, my precious sweet wife, she broke me down, man. And now, I mean, in October, I was already playing Christmas music. And
what? In October?
Yeah.
But there's so much cool, and don't at me, as Loren said about this. There's so much Halloween music that don't if you have listen, we don't celebrate Halloween, but I also don't have as strong a conviction about some of the stuff that other people have. So that's between you and the Lord. It's between me and the Lord. My conscience does not bother me about the things that I do partake in. So, but yeah, there's so much. Like I was playing a Halloween classical playlist. It was super cool.
Yeah, I will say something about that. Because it was on Spotify, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, when we came over for the party, you had that playing on the TV, right?
Oh, I did? I think that was Kayla.
Okay, because there was a moment. Now, it was a randomized playlist for everybody who's about to hear this, and I think it was shuffling just anything in that genre, right? It wasn't shuffling music that they actually own, but we're Devin and Taylor are getting the kids ready to go trick or treating, and me and Paula and several others are standing in the living room, and I happen to look up at the TV, and it's got this horrible, like, skull on the TV.
Oh no!
And the song is called "Speak to the Devil."
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, no. Well, and it was not a song that you guys listened to. In fact, Kayla comes in, she said, "Oh," and she changed it. But it was just funny how the devil was trying to get in your house. Anyway,
and not to digress, but all the fear stuff, all of that kind of we don't say the kids go. We say we go around and get candy. We don't say we go trick or treating. I tell them to say treat please when they go up, or just hello, And hello ended up being perfectly fine. And, if people wish you a happy Halloween, you just like, well, hey, you have a great night,
Man, I did all that wrong, by the way. Even going around with the kids this year. This will be maybe the 5th time I've called it trick-or-treating because I don't know what else to call it other than just candy smuggling.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to, there are certain things and, man, I really don't, I won't stay on this long. I'm so sorry. But, churches get so bent out of shape about it. So, and they do this whole thing of, well, we don't partake, so we do our own thing. We do a fall festival. I'm like, you're just doing the same thing like that night. It's like, it's no different than just taking the kids and going around and getting candy,
right?
And not yielding to any of the fear stuff. Not, we don't do devils, we don't do witches, we don't do ghosts, none of that stuff. John dressed up like a Minecraft character. And Sarah was a ballerina.
So cute. And Luke was the Tin Man, and Lily was Dorothy.
But then,
just precious.
Then Luke and John switched costumes in the middle. It was
they merged.
They started switching accessories and stuff.
I remember growing up having, instead of a Halloween party, you had a Hallelujah party, and you could only dress up as maybe Bible characters or something. Old-fashioned
Bible characters or animals. That was the rule.
One year I was a hobo clown.
Oh, I remember that. Why were you a hobo clown?
You're a rebel, Loren. You're a rebel.
I do not know, but I am a little bit of a rebel. But anyway, so I did listen to Christmas music in October. And so Taylor enjoys Christmas more now that he's in Florida. For me, I have to really force myself, having lived in Indiana for a little bit. I really have to make it a focused effort to get into the Christmas spirit. Maybe that's why I start so early, because the weather, it just feels like the same day, all year. Like Christmas comes and goes and you're like, oh, I didn't. But in Indiana, where we lived for a few years, I mean, we had a white Christmas a couple of times. You could really, there was a definite change in how everything felt. But here, and being married 24 years, it's like growing up, my mother, we did have Christmas trees with colored lights, but my mother really preferred Christmas trees with white lights. She really preferred that. And my wife does not prefer that. And so when I got married, I preferred what I had spent the last many years with, was white lights on a Christmas tree. And my wife was like, no. And I'm like, but colored lights, I had just developed this stupid, but colored lights, it just makes it look so cheesy or whatever, which my mother never said, by the way. My stupid 20-year-old brain had just developed this notion. And she's like, well, we're going to do Christmas lights that look cheesy. And like, she even likes the big fat ones, from the 80s and all that. So
those are vintage now. Those are like a thing.
Yeah. So, but what's interesting is that I came into this marriage really preferring white Christmas lights, and now I can't imagine putting white. I like other people having white Christmas lights on their tree. It's beautiful, but in my home, I can't imagine having that, just because my wife has reprogrammed me, and she has been working for 24 years. She hasn't won yet, but she's been working for 24 years to convince me that she can figure out a way to have a tree up all year round.
Well,
oh yeah. And when we have our Christmas episode, we're going to get into this.
I didn't know this is a thing.
oh, dude, y'all,
How have I not known?
it is a fight. Like the only reason our Christmas tree wasn't up on Halloween is because of a ton of work going on at our house, and we didn't know what would get in the way or whatever. But I am the type that wants to take it down, December 26th.
Because it's depressing. Yeah.
I want to take it down immediately because it's come and gone, and I don't want to be sad that I've got it, but not her. I remember one year, this is a Thanksgiving episode, but here we go. We're half an hour in. This is the last thing I'll say about this. One year, she wore me down enough, and there was enough going on. We left the Christmas tree up until mid-February.
Wow.
I mean, can you get more redneck than that?
I mean, with everything that we have going on in our life sometimes, because like the holidays and going into February has been a very busy time in our life for the past 8 years. So, I mean, it's not too hard to believe.
I wish I could use that as the excuse, but this is when we lived in Georgia and did not have this problem of...
Got it. Okay. Sorry.
Of January shows up and it's nothing but practice, and then heading into first week of February like your hair's on fire. No, it was just Georgia, and we weren't doing anything special. We just had other things going on, and she was like, maybe if I don't say anything, he'll leave it up all year. And finally one day I just tackled it like I'm an offensive lineman, protecting my quarterback. And I mean, I just took it down.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at going into February like your hair's on fire. I'm stuck there.
Well, all right. I got to get us into Thanksgiving. So I did have favorite Thanksgiving memory and worst Thanksgiving memory, and we can go into that if you guys have one. And if you do, speak now. I don't have a favorite Thanksgiving memory. I
can't say I had, because it's kind of just. I feel like Thanksgiving is just kind of it's great, but there's no super memorable, event.
Yeah. Taylor, is there one particular Thanksgiving that you're like, this is the best one?
I don't know about that. No. Yeah, I can't think of any that specifically stood out.
Maybe your first one with us is probably definitely.
I definitely think your first one that I was there. Probably
that should be probably your guys too. Your first one's with me.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. I do know what my worst Thanksgiving was. Now, Devin and I were talking. We were messaging today, texting, whatever. And, as families go through challenges, like if your parents divorce or whatever, that can make for weird Thanksgivings. But we won't necessarily get into that. But I will say that my worst Thanksgiving memory is on behalf of my wife, who was my girlfriend then. When we started dating, I would go to her house every year for Thanksgiving. And that started to hurt my mother's feelings. And so one year, I suggested we have Thanksgiving with my family. Now, Paula had never been away from her family on Thanksgiving. And my family's Thanksgiving was different. It was different in terms of maybe temperament. I'll just say it. My maternal grandparents, to this day, I've never seen anybody fight like they fought with each other. And anybody from my family who listens to this, I hope that doesn't upset you. But if it does upset you, then you live in an impressive state of denial because my goodness, it was just remarkable. And so it was just weird. And but I wanted to, be with my siblings, and my mother wanted me to be there. at that time. I think yeah, my parents had our parents had separated, so it was my mom and I'm pretty sure Devin, you were there. But Paula was struggling. She was being very sweet about it. My wife doesn't pitch a fit. She doesn't like, no, I'm not gonna. Well, that's not true. She doesn't pitch a fit. How about that? And if she does stand her ground, it's typically for something that's right. But we get there and she's already having a tough time. And when I compare like the recipe for like the dressing that her mother had and that Paula still carries on versus what was that my grandmother made, it was it was quite a departure from what Paula's used to. And so Paula excuses herself during the meal. She's very polite, and turns out like she goes and cries. Just because, just because she didn't want to be there. It was tough. It was a tough transition. I mean, she's still at this point 17, something like that. So,
wow,
yeah, your first
really
17 or 18, something like that. And your first Thanksgiving away from your parents was she 17 or 18? No, it was later than that. It had to be later.
Chat GPT.
Yeah,
Chat GPT knows.
Anyway, I'm sorry. She was older than that, but she was still in her late teens. And it was tough. So that was probably my worst Thanksgiving. But everyone after that has been great, especially with the gang. The BFF gang. Whenever we're all together, we won't all be together this year. But it'll still be great. But anytime we're all together, it's just always great. So, any worst for you guys?
Taylor?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
Taylor lives in a magical land where everything's medium. Nothing's too hot, nothing's too cold. It is 70 degrees spot. The whole time. It's 72 every day.
That's a little too hot, actually.
He is 68. He is the Hawaii of life. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Devin, tell us your deepest, darkest.
So okay, Dad and Sherry, there's no hard feelings or anything about this. I'm going to preface that.
I'm going to turn around.
But no, every year they had a responsibility to my dad's parents, and
I didn't know you were going to name names.
and to Sherry's parents. So and Mama and Papa, my dad's dad, they always wanted to go out to Cracker Barrel, something like that, which honestly, Cracker Barrel on Thanksgiving isn't terrible because they're open and they of course are open. That's why we went there.
You guys,
that'd be super awkward. They're like, well,
you guys just broke in with Mama and Papa. You're like, aha, get the moon pies. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I can't remember what we did this particular year, but I didn't scratch that itch for Thanksgiving food. And when we got to Sherry's parents, apparently things had been to where they couldn't really put the work in, which is understandable to prepare a bunch of food.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've heard.
It's a lot.
I don't do it, so
yeah, exactly. So they had sandwiches that year, and it just broke me, man.
Like, how did you handle it? Did you keep it all inside?
Oh, I bottled it all up inside.
It's coming out right now, actually.
Yeah, years later, it would become an outburst that no one understood. Where is this coming from?
I'm like, sandwiches? Really?
Taking it out on Kayla.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Another ham sandwich for you.
I think also because I was not mentally prepared for it.
That's key.
Yeah, and I had built up. I'm like, well, here we go. I'm gonna get some Thanksgiving food, because they had always done it previously.
Yeah,
and some a few times after that even. It was just something about this year that it got away from him.
I think if I'd have been able to prepare Paula that the dressing that she was about to get, or the stuffing, whatever you want to call it, that she was about to get, that my grandmother made, looked and tasted like wet beach sand, she would have. Was there a lot of sage
in her dressing and grandmama's dressing?
I don't remember. I just remember it was very gritty, and I remember sitting down at the table knowing what Paula was used to, and I was like, "Why does that look like she just scooped it up from the beach?" I don't remember. I mean, come on. Have you seen Uncle Try Something New? Do you really think I'm going to be like,
yeah,
a lot of sage in this? I just spit it out and go, what is that? That was always my question, and it still is my question. When I don't like something, I'll spit it out and I'll be like, why does it taste like that? And Paula's like, I don't even know, what am I supposed to do with that question? But anyway, being mentally prepared for something to be different, or that you're going to have to do without, talk about a segue. It helps. It doesn't really make it better, but it helps.
That's how I live my life. Just mentally prepared for things to be different. So,
it's good. It's worked.
It's well done, Taylor. Well done, Taylor. I mean, that's our clip right there. Just be like,
I'm always prepared for sandwiches, If Lindsay walked through the door right now with a sandwich, I'd be prepared for that.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I knew, I felt like this was going to happen.
Yeah, sandwich. I knew something was going to be different tonight.
Now, I think there's one exception, and this is a digression. I think there's one exception. If it was a bunch of those Publix Thanksgiving sandwiches,
yes.
Then if it was like a bunch of those, I would have been like, well, I mean, don't mind if I do.
That'd be a treat. Lindsay and I actually look forward to those.
Oh, dude, they're so good. They're really good.
Our holiday sub.
Okay, which one of you guys had me try that?
Probably me.
Okay.
Because it's one of my favorites.
I seem to remember that, and I remember it, but I don't think I've had it.
Could have been us too, because we lived with you, so
yeah,
we could have brought it home one day.
Yeah, it's true. If is it really like one of y'all's things?
Yeah.
Okay. It is for me too. Yeah.
We should, man. I guess we found our thing this month.
We did. We got to have a public sub party.
Yeah.
With the Foster.
I'm in, because I don't remember what it tastes like, but
there's cranberries in it. Cranberry sauce.
But it's I want to say a word.
Careful with that word, sir.
You saw the mouth formation.
Yeah. I could feel it coming. It's this kind of cranberry. We're going to do an episode of the words Loren hates. It's not canned. They
make it there?
They make it there, which, by the way, I actually have. I think I've told you guys this. I have a made up word to replace that word in my home.
What is it?
Fee-far.
Fee-far. Oh.
I don't even know what word we're talking about. What word are we talking
about?
Sounds
like profanity to me.
Fresh. Oh.
Yeah. Sounds like fake profanity to me.
Fee-far.
Well, the fee-far is spelling the other word.
Fee-far,
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Well, I didn't. Yeah. I don't know why I came up with that, but I just, Paula was like on that word when we first got married, and I'm like, I love you, and I'm glad we're married. So glad we're married, but we've got to do something about that. So I'm banning that word, and we use fee-far. And that woman for 24 years has used fee-far.
Delicious is mine. I can't do that word.
I'm not a fan of that one. Wow, we are way off topic.
Okay, we can.
I've actually got a surprise question I want to throw in.
Do it.
That goes with this. If we're ready to move on.
With words or with the Thanksgiving?
Not words. Thanksgiving. Not words.
Go ahead.
I mean, we can get into words.
So
I had a thought while we were talking about, favorite Thanksgiving and stuff. Do you guys have any like traditions or Thanksgiving traditions or favorite ones? I don't think that's on our list.
That's a great
watch
our question on our list. Got to watch what?
Football. I mean, it's just
football.
And
That's
Kayla really is big on the Macy's parade, even though it's hard to find a channel that covers it decently.
It used to be for me the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
That's just a bunch of show tunes.
They've really gotten heavy with the show tunes and heavy with the woke stuff in the last few years.
Yeah, last year I remember that especially.
And I'm just so fed up with that. But when I was growing up, I'll have to cut that out. When I was growing up, the balloons and the floats were like, I don't remember a single show tune. I just remember it being balloons, floats, and marching bands, and the occasional music artist or movie star coming out and hey, happy Thanksgiving, hey,
lip syncing and stuff.
And when the float stops and when it starts back up, what they're singing, they're like on the air, But like I remember really I like seeing Ronald McDonald and Snoopy and Spider-Man. I had really looked out for Superman balloons. They didn't always have those. And then of course Santa Claus at the end of it. But when I got married, there was just something that happened when I started dating Paula. That's really when I dove into football. I started getting into football in high school. I keep hitting my mic. We didn't grow up in a house that watched a ton of sports. Our extended family did, but our dad didn't. But especially when I got out on my own, but also in high school, I started watching football. And for a while there, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving unless I watched football after the meal. But even they got a little weird with stuff. But
they did.
I will drop things in a heartbeat if they go woke. And I've been out of football for a little while. But recently the thing that I've replaced football with is that what is it? The dog show?
Oh yeah.
Kayla likes that so much.
I like the dog show. I'm always excited. And it's right after or it might be during the parade.
I think it's right after.
It's right after the parade.
Oh, it's right after, okay.
So it's the parade and then that dog show.
I like the dog show.
I think that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of.
Is that live, fun. By the way? Is that what those people choose to do with their Thanksgiving holiday?
I don't
they
think
take
it's
it seriously.
Live. Yeah, they do take it seriously. I don't think it's live.
You guys seen the movie about it?
Best in Show.
Best in Show.
You showed me that movie, Loren. I think.
Yeah.
I think you did.
It's a mockumentary and it's absolutely hilarious.
It's so good.
If you haven't seen Best in Show, I recommend it. Christopher Guest directed it. I think he and Eugene Levy and a couple others wrote it. When I say wrote it, they wrote the outline and the story, but the actual dialogue in the movie, they have beats that they go by, but it's all ad lib. They'll hit certain things to allow things to carry the scene, but it's ad lib and it's comedy brilliance. And is that
the one where Parker Posey, where somebody is talking, they accidentally spit on her, she goes, "Don't spit on me."
I think so.
Or is that a Mighty Wind?
That might be a Mighty Wind.
But it was just so you watched it kind of get her, and she just like went with it.
Maybe I can't remember if that was, but in Best in Show, she actually had braces put on.
Right? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is Best in Show.
There's oh my gosh, I can't get off on that, but yeah, the dog show is something that's becoming a new tradition. But yeah, Taylor, what about you as far as tradition goes?
You know, I think I might make watching Best in Show a tradition because that sounds fun. Like watching it, but sometime in the month, and then actually watching the dog show. That sounds fun. But
that does sound fun.
It does. I forgot about the dog show. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. I think that is kind of an unknown to me tradition that I do because Lindsay's thing is the parade. That's her thing. She's like, whatever we do, wherever we go, we have to watch the parade. And last year was a little let down because of some of the stuff they did.
Yeah, it got weird.
Lindsay always
got really weird.
Yeah, Lindsay always wants to watch it, and then the dog show comes on, and I'm like, oh, I always forget the dog show's on afterwards, and I always get excited about it. I'm like, that dog's gonna win, that dog. But the dog show, and one tradition that my mom does is, so I think a quarter Filipino on my mom's side, and so her family's I have a lot of distant Filipino relatives, but my mom will do a full Thanksgiving meal, or a full Filipino style Thanksgiving meal where it's just all Filipino food, and it's really good. And like we'll have even like friends that would even still they'll still come over just to hang out and eat the food. So
like William.
That's one. William would come over. He would do it. William, you're welcome. Welcome over, William.
He said, "I smell bacon.
Yeah. I smell bacon. Filipino food.
Filipino bacon." But
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's I mean, I can't think of the parade, and then I mean, tradition is just spending time with family.
Yeah,
I think that's a tradition.
Yeah, I don't think we do that at all. I'm just kidding. But you bringing up the Filipino food, that is a good segue into what I think will probably be our next to last topic. What is the Thanksgiving food that you cannot? It's not Thanksgiving if you don't have this. Devin, no, actually, Taylor, I'll go to you first.
Let's see. So I don't know why this is one, but for some reason I always look forward to green bean casserole. I don't know why, but that's always one I look forward to.
Have I ever had green bean casserole?
What?
I don't know.
I mean, we've had it at your house.
Yeah, but I don't think I eat it.
I mean, it's good.
It's there, but I look at it and I'm like,
it's so good.
That's got
good.
Shaved walnuts on it, or
no, it's got the crispy
like
French
crispy.
onion.
But still no thanks.
What has the walnuts on it?
I don't know. I think Loren's making that up like he thought tarts were sour little things.
Is that the sweet potato?
No, sweet potato casserole has pecans and marshmallows on it. But quick aside, when we all went on our Disney cruise
in what 2019 was it?
2019, and we're in the concierge area of the cruise ship, and they've got these little snacks and treats out and everything for the concierge level.
I ate so much food,
people. And
I tried everything there. I tried everything that they had.
There was one time, and we're over time, but there was one time none of us knew where you were. and like Lindsay was coming to all our rooms. Do you know where Taylor's at? And we're like, no. And you were going around to all the places just getting food. Walking around eating food from everywhere. But on the concierge, in the concierge lounge, they had a bunch of little snacks and fruits and pastries, and they had tarts, little tart pastries, and I just tart, tart means it's so sour that I shut my eye, and Devin got one.
And I was excited. I was like, "Oh, dude, tarts!" And you're like, "Ugh!" And I was like,
"Ugh!" And excuse me. And Devin's like, "What do you mean, ugh?" And he said, "You don't like these?" I'm like, "No, I don't like sour things." And he's like, "Sour things? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "It's a tart." He's like, "Dude, these are little teeny pies." And I'm like, "So what now?" I'm just like, chunk, 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 chunk. Just Paula's coming in. I'm like, "Paula, little teeny pies." And she's like, "I know. Are you okay?" I'm like, "They're not tart at all. They're tiny pies." Nom, 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 nom. So,
I'll never forget that interaction.
I was like, "Ugh, I don't like those." What? I don't like sour things. Sour things. You were so confused when I said that. You were like, what are you talking? But do you remember the look that washed over my face when you told me there were tiny pies? I was like, wait a minute. Like, all of these are just little bitty pies?
Yes. But I love that the name threw you. Like, you didn't even, and this is not a criticism, you didn't take the time to study, like, what it looks like. And you're like, I know it says tart, but man, it kind of looks like a pecan pie. Like, why? I'll try it. Yeah, like, I can assess stuff like the way it looks and kind of get an idea of like, all right, okay, I see what's going on here. I think I'm gonna like that.
No, I just saw the word tart. I'm like, no thanks. I saw the word tart and I'm like, say no more. I know all I need to know. Next.
Could have been a chocolate chip cookie.
Would you like a tart? And you're like, no. They were like, well, you haven't even seen it. And you're like, I said, no, thank you.
I said, good day, sir. Yeah.
It's like, good day.
I said, good day. Good day. I said, good day. So yeah, so green bean casserole is your go-to, Taylor?
I mean, it's just one. So a green bean casserole, pumpkin pie is a big one with Cool Whip. I don't know why. Cool Whip. And let me think. So for the Filipino thing, we do lumpia, which is I don't know all the Filipino stuff. My mom makes the food. Okay. But it's kind of, it's like
very grateful or thankful of you, Taylor.
I'm thankful for it.
For your heritage.
Kind of like an egg roll, but not egg. It's got other stuff in it, but it's really good. And Loren wouldn't like this. They put like this like vinegar, peppery stuff on it. This is like a dip kind of thing, and it's really good.
Lumpia?
So that's lumpia, yeah.
Lumpia.
Lumpia?
Lumpia.
I tried.
Excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom and take a lumpia.
Just a lumpia.
Lumpia.
Devin, what about you?
I mean, it's a handful of things. It's the turkey. It's the dressing. It's sweet potato casserole, and I like the way that Paula does it.
Yes, Paula's is really good.
Like, it's
probably my favorite.
Straight up. Like, I think one year Paula may have made me my own.
She did.
I think she did, yeah.
Like my own, and like I was weighing it every day. Oh, not really, but was to see if anybody else was
sure. Yeah,
yeah. Every day I'm like, okay.
Who did it?
We're good.
Hey.
And I do enjoy the green bean casserole. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything else, but those are my go-tos. And with dessert, it's kind of it's weird. Pumpkin pie used to be like the deal breaker, and now over the years, I feel like pecan pie is like
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
it's weird. So
yeah, honestly, everything that I have to have for Thanksgiving is everything that my wife makes, except for whatever this green bean stuff is. But like she makes that, but I don't know that I've ever actually had it. So maybe we can have that.
It's good.
Well, I'm only going to do it for Uncle Try Something New because I don't try something new unless I'm getting paid. So
I'm determined to find something that you like. Like that's my goal with Uncle Try Something New. I'm like, I want to add a new food into Loren's diet.
Well, we've had a couple of things that I didn't hate, but they are not going into regular rotation.
Yeah, I want something that's like regular rotation.
We are nowhere close to regular rotation, and I don't have faith. I mean, by the way, now tarts aren't regular rotation, but
pies are.
Not regular rotation.
Well, no, you know. Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, is like
I couldn't tell you the last time I made a pie.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something you have every week. You know.
But hey, I mean, I really think part of heaven's going to be like Jesus knocking on the door of your mansion and being like, "Got a pie," you know. He's like, "Calories don't work here," you know. So, but for me. I want my wife's pumpkin pie. I want my wife's pecan pie. I want my wife's dressing, stuffing, whatever you want to call it. I want my wife's sweet potato casserole. I've tried other sweet potato casseroles. I think didn't Lindsay make one year where she used Paula's recipe? That was good.
I think so.
But I've tried other sweet potato casseroles outside of Paula's recipe. It's a no-go for me. That's the other thing. Once I find something I like, any deviation from that, even if it's the same thing, it's not. And like Paula's pumpkin pie, or like one that Lindsay makes, because Lindsay's a fantastic baker, or going to the store. I have yet to go to a store and get a pumpkin pie that's like my wife's. I'll always take a bite and I'm like, nope, something's wrong. Get it out of here. And so her sweet potato casserole, and I do like the little break and bake, not break and bake, little crescent rolls in the can, little Pillsbury ones. You know, the buttery crescent rolls. I like those. Oh,
that's so interesting. I wouldn't associate those with Thanksgiving.
For some reason, I always do. Maybe one day I'll do a podcast where I don't hit the mic every time I use my hands to talk, but. For some reason, I do. I like everything. I know we're talking about things you can't do without, but the list that I've just made, any discussion of us going somewhere for Thanksgiving, and this is no offense meant to anybody else that would make Thanksgiving food for us, but to talk about going somewhere else for Thanksgiving where my wife isn't cooking for Thanksgiving stresses me out. And she's like, but it's so much less work for me. I'm like, okay, well, maybe
priorities.
Yeah, but also this is once a year, Dollface. Every other year, it's metabolic meals and cereal for me. You know, so let's settle down with how much work it is for you. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. But I'm also not kidding at all. I'm super serious, and that's exactly how I feel down in my heart. I didn't mention turkey because as much as like I want turkey to be there, and I know Devin and I were talking earlier today about when you get to a Thanksgiving celebration with family, and they're like, you know what, we decided that everybody's tired of turkey, and they come out with, the sandwiches were a preparedness thing, but. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to be like, hey, who wants KFC? No,
it's not KFC day.
Doesn't sound too bad right now, actually.
It is a goal.
Always
of mine
prepared.
It is a goal of mine to get Taylor to talk about being hungry on every episode.
I do that, don't I?
Yeah, I think the only one you haven't done is the election episode. You're like,
there wasn't a spot for it.
Yeah, you're like, vote according to the word. Who's hungry? But I do enjoy turkey, but not as much as others. However, last year I did smoke my first turkey, and boy, oh boy, was that a winner.
It was awesome. It was so good. It was really freaking good.
And I'm gonna do another one this year, even though everybody won't be here. I'm gonna do another one just to kind of keep myself sharp on doing it. And I've already got the brine picked out and all that from Cosmo Barbecue.
Sounds devilish.
Well, and then an injection
deviled
from
eggs. I just remembered those.
Oh, sorry. See, I have a deviled egg story in a second.
Oh, that's a deal breaker for you? That's a deal breaker for me. And like,
yeah. No, I like them. Those are the first things I eat.
Oh, they're just, really? You and Kayla, yeah.
Because they're right there in the line, and you're just like, while you're getting the other food, it's like,
So you grab snack. Them in the line for food while you're waiting to get down the line. You're just like,
I eat a couple in the line, put a couple on my plate. Yeah.
So until I started dating my wife, I had never had a deviled egg ever. I had seen them, but I'd never had one. Paula asked me to try one, and she looked at me with those blue eyes and said, please. And of course I did. And I hated every moment that I was chewing it. Fast forward 25 years, 20. Yeah. Cause we were dating it almost 25 years. And we're invited to the house of a very, very sweet elderly lady that goes to our church. She wanted to thank us for something that the Lord had enabled us to do for her. And the way she wanted to thank us was by having us over to her house for dinner. And she wanted to make us dinner. And she told me when we got there, by the way, she said, now, if my husband was still alive, her husband's in heaven, she said, you would sit in the living room with him and talk. And your wife and I would be in the kitchen, but he's not here. So you just sit in the kitchen. And you sit in the living room and we'll take care of this. I tried twice to get up and help. And she sternly told me to sit down because this is what we're supposed. She pointed at Paula. This is what we're supposed to do. I was like, okay.
Paula said, don't you hold her to that.
Yeah. She's like, you. But we get in the car. She's like, get it out your mind right now, son. But my wife is precious, but also that is true. We got there and she presented us with appetizers while she continued to make dinner, which was cucumber mint tea, which I do not drink. Or is it cucumber water? There were cucumbers floating in the beverage, and LVB does not do that.
Oh, I enjoy it.
And then deviled eggs. And now I went, because I didn't know what she was preparing for dinner, so I went with the heart and mind of I will eat what's set before me, right? And I know the Lord God Almighty has a sense of humor because he knew I purposed that in my heart, and he had to be snickering knowing that the first thing that I would be presented with was deviled eggs. and I ate deviled eggs by faith. And I think I ate two. And she had made them with Miracle Whip salad dressing, the bread spread from Kraft. And that's what the commercials used to say. And she did something to them that made the concoction in the middle a little sweeter. And so they were tolerable. And so I was able to, the Lord helped me eat them and not be like, so how do you, do you enjoy being, So that, yeah. But
so what you're saying is that it's kind of a compliment because you are able to tolerate it. Like that's kind of a compliment.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I've yet to find. I can't get past the smell, man. It smells like a sulfur bomb. It's like,
and hers did not. Hers did
that's
not.
saying something. I just like I cannot get. I. It's one of those things. I'm like, you smell it, right? And
yeah.
You smell it.
Is this just me? Are you okay? You have a cold?
I don't understand. My wife really likes deviled eggs too.
Well, I'm not gonna make that joke, but I just don't know why they're called deviled eggs. I don't understand that. Is
like
it because
devil's food cake? I think it is something to do with the way it's prepared. I may be totally like just making something up here.
Somebody posted in the comments why they're called deviled eggs and devil's food cake. Well, I do want to mention real quick the one thing that my mother-in-law did that got my full approval, other than my wife. She raised my wife, and my wife is wonderful. But hey, sometimes you're wonderful regardless. But my mother-in-law also made this macaroni and cheese casserole that was awesome. I haven't had it since she made it, but I think I may have convinced my wife to try to find that recipe or at least do something close to it. And then one year, Lindsay made our mom's mashed potatoes. And honestly, I think Lindsay made them better than Mom used to make them.
Probably.
Lindsay is a far more accomplished cook than our mother, but our mom didn't make instant mashed potatoes. She actually cut up potatoes, mashed them, and they were good. But Lindsay made some awesome ones. So I know that's a huge list of things that I can't do without. But the combination of those things, like if I just have turkey tomorrow, I'm not like, oh, it is Thanksgiving, guys. No, it's the combination of those things that make it a Thanksgiving meal. So all of those things together. I think one year, my mother-in-law didn't want to cook because it's a lot of work, sure. And we showed up, and her dad had ordered a bunch of pizzas, and we were like, "I'm sorry."
That sounds good to me.
So you know what it's like to show up
because you're always prepared, Taylor.
I'm definitely prepared for pizza.
By the way, just for the sake of it, deviled is an adjective. Came to be used most often with spicy or zesty food, including eggs prepared with mustard, pepper, or other ingredients stuffed in the yolk cavity.
I didn't know it was going to be called cavity.
Similar uses of devil for spiced foods include deviled hams and Diavolo sauce from the Italian word.
Yes, it's
devil.
Italy.
So there you go.
Diavolo.
I wasn't too far off. I said I think it has to do with the way it's prepared. So
yeah,
I mean,
last thing I'll say
basically,
about
I'm a genius. I think I'm like.
I think you are
Gordon Ramsay or something.
Yeah, what a shame. The last thing I'll say about food is having smoked a turkey. I think that's my new favorite way to make turkey.
My favorite way to eat it too.
Yeah, the oven roasted turkey is fine, but it's always been kind of a hey, this is okay. And I had fried turkey once. Paula's brother James, who's in heaven now, he had all of us over to his house for Thanksgiving, and he fried a turkey, and it was pretty good. I've been wanting to try that, but I'm not super interested in the flare-ups that the oil can cause. But then there's also
it's almost unavoidable, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's an infrared turkey fryer, but I don't know if that's the same. So I'll probably just stick with smoking a turkey. But
and I gotta be honest, I like the smoke better. I've had the fried turkey, and I didn't think it was that much different personally.
Yeah,
I thought I was like, oh, I think I can tell a difference. And yeah, I mean, the smoked is the way to go. Kayla's family in Georgia, They actually, their biggest thing would usually happen the day before, and they called it meat day. And they would just smoke a bunch of meat in this big brick oven that they built. Yeah, and they would even cook pies. And so we are going to meat day when we go to Georgia for this year. And they would cook. They would smoke turkey legs, and I think they would do other meats. I don't recall. I think they did some steak. And then they would take pies and they would put it under the hot coals, and cover them up. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great. Yeah,
it was really good, and
goals right there.
Your smoked turkey was definitely on par or the best I've had.
Oh wow.
It was because it was definitely really better than we've got it from a barbecue restaurant one time, and it was good, but no, Loren's was better.
Thank you. That I am thankful for that, which I think takes us to our closer of what are we thankful for here, closing in on the Thanksgiving day of celebration. To the always prepared, why don't we go to Taylor first?
Uh-oh.
You can stick
Don't
with
be unprepared.
5 things if you want to.
Just 5? 5 things I'm thankful for. Man, that's easy.
Right.
I'm so thankful for my wife, who is my best friend. Wives are best friends, right? That's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin's quiet on that.
Oh,
Just joking.
Wives are better than best friends, but yeah.
Yeah. For my wife, man. I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole, but get yourself a good wife, and be led too. Don't just marry anyone, because
Scripture says he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah, makes a big difference in your life.
Yeah,
and definitely has made me better, and has made my days better. So thankful for you, Lindsay. I know you're watching right now. My kids, man, I love my kids so much. So thankful for the opportunity to be a father and to teach them every day, even if it's the same thing for months, teaching them. But it's something I've always looked forward to, is just having kids and watching them grow and learn, and they're having their own personalities. It's really cool. I'm also thankful for the BFF gang. Got to say that it's great to be a part of such a loving, caring family and close knit family that you can just trust and go to for anything, and just know that they have your back. What's that, 3? Unless you count each person, then that's I'm just kidding. I am thankful for, I've got a few things running through my mind, so I'm trying to pick the ones that I want to say to the public. No. I'm thankful for my family. Just the life that I've been able to live and how I was raised up, and I was raised in a family that believes in God, that believes in Jesus, and it's something that has been is the focus of my life now, and it's such a good life. And not just because, I'm not just thankful for my family because I was raised in church, but because I love my family. I call a lot of them almost every day, if not every other day, and we talk. We've got group chats, and my family is they're all right. They're not too funny. I'm probably the funniest one out of all of them. So if you think different, leave a comment and we'll see what happens. We'll let the people vote. And then I'm so thankful for, and this is an obvious one. I'm thankful for my salvation and my faith and grace, and for Jesus, for just the sweet, wonderful life that I've been blessed with, the opportunity to live, to be led, and to experience. Because there's so many people that are struggling and hurting and having difficult times. And man, my life has been so wonderful and so blessed, and I have so much to look forward to, not just in this life, but in the next. And man, that is a huge thing to be thankful for. And it makes life worth living, for sure.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. That's awesome.
5, Cinco.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, any day you wake up and you're able to confess, Jesus is Lord, that's a good day, and that sounds cheesy, or it sounds like a canned answer, but it's really not. If nothing else is going well in your life, at least if you've received your salvation, at least you're not going to hell.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That is a big one. And then on top of that, what the way he's blessed me with my wife, who is living proof that God doesn't give based on what you deserve, but he gives based on his grace and his love. My children, who, being a parent is a challenge, and honestly, today was one of those challenging days to be a parent, but I still have, my son's teacher literally said that my son is the most well-mannered boy in his class.
Wow.
And my daughter is a miniature version of my wife, so that's fun. It's like fun size Kayla. You just put and my friends. I grew up, and not to get too deep or anything, but I did grow up very lonely, and I did grow up without a lot of friends, and now I catch myself like kind of overwhelmed with the people even outside of the BFF gang that love me and I know would be there the second that I just sent them a text. And that's something to be valued, and I don't take it for granted. But for my birthday, 2 people who have they're good friends, and they have twins, baby twins. They just packed up and came over to see me for my birthday, and I was like, wow, 25 years ago, if you had told me that there would have been people that would have packed up their family like that just to come see me for my birthday, that really meant a lot to me. But my friend Steven, my friend John Rosser, just the Lord surrounded me with sweet, wonderful people, and then the BFF gang I feel sorry for everyone who doesn't have a BFF gang. That's just the truth, and because they're the best, and it really is a gang. And that even if we're mad at each other for a short amount of time, you better not say something cross, because we still have got each other's back. Like if I just did something to annoy Loren or Taylor, but somebody's standing beside us and they mouth off to me, there's no question. They're not going to be like,
yeah,
what you deserve,
Yeah, no.
Or somebody comes up to him and they're like, yeah, Devin is, he does suck, doesn't he? You'd be like, hey, whoa,
Yeah.
I can be mad. You cannot,
Right.
But yeah, that's, and not barely graduating high school. By the grace of God, I graduated high school, and and being more successful than a lot of people my age is something that's only by the grace of God, and I'm very thankful for it. No college education, nothing, but he's helped us and continues to help us go up and up, and man, I'm very grateful for that because I want to leave something better for my kids too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to sound obvious now that.
And French fries. I'm thankful for French fries.
It's going to sound obvious, but I sincerely mean it, just like the other two dudes do. I am eternally thankful for the saving grace of my Father God through Jesus Christ. The entire gang, my wife and I will do this. Devin and I will say this to each other, or the whole gang will say it to each other. When we see somebody go through something, or when something happens, or when we go through something, we will make the comment, I don't understand how people do this without Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a frightful thing. It really is.
And it's important to understand that the three of us, nor our wives, being a Christian isn't just something that's part of our life. That's part of our life. It is our life. The Lord is our life. And there's nothing that we do outside of Him or outside of His Word. At least we endeavor to base every decision based on Him and His leading and His perfect infallible wisdom and His perfect infallible Word. And I mean, He'll help you find your keys.
Yeah.
There were several things. My wife and I were putting together some furniture today, and I looked at something and I had the thought, boy, this is going to be difficult to XYZ. And all of a sudden, this idea just came up of how to make it easy. And it sure did. Sure enough, it was as easy as could be. And I had to stop and say, thank you, Lord, because I know I didn't think of that. And you may say, well, sure you did. You're not stupid. But you have to understand, every good and perfect gift comes from Him. Every good thing comes from Him. And I'm just eternally grateful for that. And I'm also saying thankful for my wife. Doesn't sound like enough, but the Lord, He gave me better than I deserve, like Devin said, but He gave me the lifeline that He knew I would need. And she is the perfect partner. And there's no one, and I mean no one, on this planet that I know would be with me every step of the way when the Lord says to do something, like she is. I'm talking about for me. Because I know these guys, their wives are the same. She hears from the Lord for herself, but as far as how the home goes and what our next steps are in life, she's my partner in that. And there's never been a point of contention when the Lord says to do something. And we've never done something where I had it strong in my heart and she got 0, because He's faithful. He gives the same Holy Spirit that's in me is in her, and she receives the witness, and vice versa. When He gives her something, especially like if I'm CEO of this home, she is CFO. And I told her that when we got married. I'll make the money if you do the money. I don't want to ever. I know the state of my flock, but man, she is so graced with money, and through her, the Lord has been able to, regardless of how much I make, He's been able to make us very, even when I didn't make a lot, very stable. We've never missed anything. And now He has blessed us to where we're really, really, really good. And a lot of that has to do with how He taught her how to be with money. And but she is the perfect partner. I am thankful for, like the guys have mentioned, for the BFF gang. Specifically, I'll break it out. I'm thankful for the relationship I have with my siblings. I like Devin said, I feel sorry for people that don't have what we have. But I'm also kind of surprised at how alien this is to anybody else. Mm-hmm. I know Devin talked about even when we're mad at each other, but I mean, everybody must get mad at each other a lot more than I do, because I don't get mad at these people. I don't get mad at my brother. I don't get mad at my sister. If one of us is having a bad day and we may say or act a certain way that's not our normal, we're the best friends forever way, especially now that we're older, it's easier to understand, hey, that's not how Loren normally is. That's not how Lindsay normally is. That's not how Devin normally is. So we don't get mad at each other. Well, at least I hope it's not frequent. But not too long ago, I had somebody put words in my mouth where my brother was concerned that made him think that I was embarrassed of him. And them's was fighting words, because I'm never embarrassed of him. And the relationship I have with my siblings, it's very different from the other ones, from apparently everybody else's, because we don't even pick on each other. Devin and I joke a lot with each other, a lot harder than I joke with my baby sister, because she's the baby. And my wife exposed the way I am with the baby, but the three of us have a good time together. And then my sibling in-laws, Taylor and Kayla, they're just the best. And it's not like I've got this close relationship with my siblings and then their spouses are like, hey, and there's a lot of people that it's that way. Mm-hmm. No,
yeah.
I love Kayla as if she was if she were my own sister. I love Taylor as if he were my own brother. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for them, just like there's nothing I wouldn't do for Devin or Lindsay. And then my nieces and nephews. My word. Again, I don't know that I've seen uncles and aunties have a connection like, and I'm not saying Devin and Taylor don't have a connection with Luke or Lily or John and Sarah respectively. But it's not something I grew up with in terms of the relationship that we have with these children, but we love these children so much. And they're just so precious to us. And I'm so thankful for them. Every time a picture or a video comes through in our text thread, Paul and I will just say to each other, oh, don't you love those babies? Look at that face. They're just the sweetest. I'm so we'll just say out loud, thank you, Lord, for these sweet babies. We just will. And my wife and I don't have children of our own. We have 3 little kitties, and I'm very thankful for them. But the family we have is enough, and it's more than enough. We are rich because of the family we have, and I know Devin would agree with this, and I'm only mentioning it just because it's something I want to mention. I'm thankful for our dad, because it's through his ministry that we were saved, that we heard about
filled
Jesus,
with the Holy Spirit, at least for me,
and filled with the Holy Spirit, and he is still a very, very encouraging voice into our lives today, and how the Lord uses him. And his wife Sherry, very thankful for her and who she is to our dad as well.
I feel really bad I didn't say dad too.
But the things you said were super important. They were super important. And I haven't been counting. But I'll say this: I know the 3 of us are thankful for you. You watching or listening to this, we're very thankful for you. We believe that this podcast is something the Lord would have us do, and we've not heard any different. So we're going to keep going with it, and we believe it will grow. We believe it will grow in subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, do that, because you'll be a realization of our faith, and keep liking and commenting and all that, because it'll help us get to where we believe he wants to take this. So, but we're thankful for you, thankful for every time you do comment, every time you do watch or listen, because if the number of subscribers or views just sat at 0, that's not great. But it doesn't. From day one, it hasn't. And that's because of you, and because the Lord's good to us. So we're thankful for that. So yeah, guys, anything else?
Taylor, do you have anything?
Nope.
The only thing I was gonna say, this may feel super random, but it's just a thought I had. I heard recently that thinking about gratitude and everything, how what it does for your health. But one of the aspects that has a major impact on someone that we don't think about, and it actually is even more so than from a scientific standpoint than actually going through gratitude practices yourself, is receiving gratitude. So say something, tell people that you're thankful for them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just sit around and think about how thankful you are for them. Let them know. Tell them what you're thankful for, because that builds them up. It edifies them, and it's doing something physiological in their body that you're causing. And it's a good seed to sow. And absolutely. I know that's kind of random, but it's something that I was sitting here thinking about that I really wanted to get out. So
that's it. So yeah, go not just be thankful and not just think about things you're thankful for, but the people around you, tell them you're thankful for them, and tell the Lord you're thankful for him. And if you don't know the Lord, today's the day. Believe on Jesus. Believe that he's the Son of God, that he died for your sins, that God raised him from the dead, and confess him, Jesus, as your Lord and Savior. And that's it, man. And you'll start to see right away the life that we're talking about, because he's been right there this whole time, just waiting and loving on you from afar. And boy, oh boy, when he gets to love on you close up, there's no better life. So yeah, go eat the food that we talked about. And what's your favorite? Comment below. Tell us what you're thankful for. And look, until next time, I'm Uncle. That's Devin. That's Taylor. We're the dudes. We are with you and we're thankful for you. See you, gang.
Please like and subscribe and turn it on.